It is Friday, May 26th. Thanks for joining me on another podcast. Hey, I just want to say it's Memorial Weekend. Before you fire up that barbecue, remember, it's all about the men and women who fought valiantly so that we can have the opportunity to do what we do today, including this podcast. So remember, Memorial Day is a day of remembrance. So take a quick minute before you fire up that barbecue, crack open the beer. Remember to honor the fallen. We got another podcast for you, so stand by. What's happening, Motorheads? Thank you for joining me for another podcast. Like I said, it is Memorial Weekend. It's Friday, May 26th. I couldn't wait for that 5 o'clock whistle to blow, even though it blew way before 5 p.m. What a crazy, crazy week at work. I don't want to say too much, but, I'm getting tired of corporate America. Half of them aren't from America. But anyway, I digress. This is another episode of the Cycleshack. I'm Ivan Rodriguez. Thank you for jumping on and taking the time to listen to me flap my gums about anything I want. This podcast is about motorcycles and more. I want to say thank you to Anchor.fm, now known as Spotify Podcast, for being the host platform for this podcast. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Stream Beats by Harris Heller. If you like the music that you hear right now, you can go to YouTube on Harris Heller, or download them on Apple Podcasts, Apple iTunes. We got another good one for you. And a lot of time to think about things this week in the motorcycle world. Not a lot happening, but lower this hot mic a little bit. Very interesting. I took some notes. Told you I was referring back to my old notes and wanted to look at some stuff. I'm taking a look at how Harley Davidson's trying to kind of revolutionize things. And I think they are, what I am gathering from right now is things that I'm reading and researching and kind of putting things together. So, of course, it's no secret I am an avid fan of Harley Davidson. I love their bikes, but I do, as a fanatic of Harley Davidson, I fairly do critique them. And only because, to me, my pet peeve is they sell a great bike, but their prices just get ridiculous. I understand paying a price for the bike, but you also pay a hefty price for the swag and the accessories. So, we try to make it a give and take, right? And one thing I notice is that their product line is not getting cheaper at all. You can blame COVID. You can blame whatever you want. I think they were going on the right track before COVID. They came out with they came out with a very bare bagger. I don't remember the exact name, but it was like a stripped down flat black. It wasn't flat black. I want to say it was it was just a shiny black street glide bike. It was a bagger. It had saddlebags, a fairing. It had no stereo. And I think it was called a Street Glide Standard, I believe. It was just a very plain Jane bike. It had just a single saddle, no rear seat. It didn't even have cruise control, I don't think. It was just a very bare bones, stripped down bagger. Not even a stereo. It just had a slot for you to possibly put in a stereo. Now, that bike came in at $18,999. That was an awesome deal for an entry-level bagger for something that you wanted to build to some kind of a performance bike, etc. Came with a standard 107-inch engine. It was awesome. And I think Harley was on the right track with that. And now, today, you have, although I love the new CVO they came out with, I love the color, but the CVO is like almost 50 grand now. CVOs were in the 30 grands. Now they've jumped up about 20 grand in price. What happened, Harley? But okay, that's your flagship bike, no problem. Your standard Street Glide is almost 30 grand right now. That's what CVO prices like 2 or 3 years ago. And it's just bananas with what they're doing with the prices. I love a lot of the colors. I love a lot of the stuff. But, man, I challenge you to come up with a bike that is a more affordable line of motorcycle without sacrificing so much quality. Because I know you got to skimp somewhere. You got to make cuts somewhere. But I think right now, even with the release of the 131, I mean, they're coming out with bigger engines very fast. And I think there's a pattern here. And that pattern is, I know the U.S. government challenged automakers, and now they made that challenge to motorcycle manufacturers. And not only that, I say challenge, but they actually are enforcing this. U.S. automakers, I think this is the last year of the V8 engine. The straight-up V8 engine is gone. That's a thing of the past. If you have one, hold on to it. With motorcycles, they are, first off, the U.S. government kind of not mandated, but they stated to all auto manufacturers that they want to start seeing more production of electric vehicles. They want to stray away from the internal combustion engine. Okay? The same deal with motorcycles, except motorcycles, to put a stricter emissions on them, the U.S. government wants them to start looking into making 500 to 750 cc liquid-cooled engined motorcycles, with the biggest engines being the 1200 and 1300 cc line, and straying away from internal combustion engine if possible, but if they do stay with it, they want it liquid-cooled. Why liquid-cooled? Well, because with the tolerances you can make with a liquid-cooled engine, you produce more power, similar to what auto manufacturers are doing with four-cylinder engines, popping in a turbo and an intercooler, and they're taking these 1.3-liter engines and making them just as powerful as V6s. So that would be the same thing. You can get a 750 or a 1200 cc liquid cooled. I mean, Harley did it right now with that adventure bike that they made. That's a 1250 cc bike, and they're getting 150 horsepower from the factory with that liquid cooled engine. Imagine on a 1300 platform, a solid 1300 platform, liquid cooled, they could probably squeeze about 60, 65 horsepower if they really wanted to. So that's what the U.S. government is challenging Harleys to do. And what they're doing is, if you want to keep the old air-cooled bikes, they're going to impose a sort of a tax, an emissions tax. So when you register the bike, if the bike is let's say, for example, if it's 2025, 2026, when did they want this implemented? I think they wanted this shift to start happening by 2025. So let's say in 2026, I still have my 2016, right? In 2026, my 2016 bike will be 10 years old. Okay? It'll still be a well enough bike that could be on the street riding and rideable. If I wanted to keep that bike, being that it is of 1700 cc, and is not liquid cooled, is air cooled, and is considered non-compliant for motorcycles emission wise, on top of the regular registration fee of whatever that is, at the time, I would have to probably pay another fee on top of that, which will probably be double the registration fee, which would be sort of like an emissions tax towards keeping it. And I'm from what I'm researching, I'm being believed to understand that they're going to do the same thing with automobiles. So if you want to keep in 2025, after 2025 or 2026, if you want to have that V8 engine when you register the motorcycle, when you register the truck or a car or whatever, you're going to be imposed a tax at the registration for keeping a vehicle that has a higher emissions. They're going to call it an emissions tax. So you can have it, you're just going to have to pay. So if it's going to cost you $90, probably another $90 on top of that as an emissions fee for having a V8 engine, a 1700cc motorcycle air-cooled engine. So, I think Harley's trying to chomp at the bit and come out with whatever they can now before they have to scale it down. So, also, I noticed that Harley-Davidson is probably going to start putting liquid-cooled engines in their bagger line. I'm not opposed to liquid cool, guys, because it's going to produce more power, more speed. It's going to probably produce a better quality running engine. The only thing it's going to do for Harley-Davidson is it's going to add a radiator, which looks shitty. And it's going to not be able to produce the same Harley sound that you get and you're used to from your air-cooled big twin engine. That's the problem with that. So Harley is going to lose its heartbeat, so to say. It's going to sound in short like a sewing machine, pretty much. And even with the type of exhaust you put on it, it's really not going to have that real. It's going to have a growl. It's not going to have a real rumble. That's what I'm worried about. But other than that, I mean, I'm and what I challenge Harley personally is, why don't you start coming out with a line of motorcycles that is affordable, something that the average Joe can afford who loves riding. You know, the DIYer who relies on self-maintenance, is self-taught. Yeah, it's just, a lot of these guys that do wrench on their own bikes but are not of the same, how could I say, financial status as others who buy these big twin CVOs, etc., get used Harleys. And by used Harleys, they get the oldies. And they're constantly wrenching on them. And I understand that that's the fun, but you want to do more riding, So, for an example, what do I want to see? I want to see another bagger that comes out for $18,000. Why not? Brand new from the factory. Give me something stripped down like that again. And charge me $18,999. I'd go for it. Why not? Shit. My 2016, I bought it in 2017, and it wasn't $18,000. So to get something brand new with new technology at the time, which was a 107 Milwaukee 8 107 for $18,900 or $19,000. Let's round it off. Really, that'd be great. That's a thing of the past. Hey, the Street Bob just before COVID was a $14,000 motorcycle. So maybe just after COVID, I think. 2 years later, right now, the freaking bike is almost $18,000. That's unheard of. That's almost a $5,000 jump up. It's crazy. It's bananas. But anyway, so I'm a big fan of this guy. He's always done, and it's a fitting conversation, being that it's Memorial Day weekend. Adam Sandoval is back on his bike, touring again, and he is doing, what's it called? If my notes open up here. Really? Wrong damn link, Ivan. I always do it to myself with these notes. Well, he's doing another ride around the country If I could get the freaking name of it. All right, let's see if I can go to adamsandoval.com. Here we go. Okay, cannot be reached. Way to go, Ivan. All right, so basically he's doing another ride for the veterans, for the Wounded Warrior Project, and he's riding around the country again to all lower 48 states or whatever it is, and going to every single Harley dealership again. And, yeah, he's doing it to raise money for Wounded Warrior Project one more time. So, yeah. Before it was what? Scootin' America? And now this one is, I really wish I would have gotten the name, but my notes are screwing up. But anyway, check it out. Check him out on YouTube, Adam Sandoval. Big fan of the guy and what he's doing for the veterans. And 100% of the proceeds is going to the Wounded Warrior Project. So I caught the video of Harley releasing the sneak peek of the 2023 CVO lineup. I kind of like it. It's funky. It's new. A lot of people say that Street Glide fairing looks very similar to the Indian Chieftain type fairing. I don't really think so. I think it looks unique. And I can honestly say a lot of these automakers, a lot of these motorcycle designers don't sit there watching what comes out and trying to, I could honestly say that I think Indian very closely tried to mimic a Street Glide fairing, but they didn't quite get it the same. They made it different. They kind of made it their own. You can look at the two and clearly tell that they're different. Their Batwing style fairing is highly different from the Harley Batwing fairing on the Street Glide. And, yeah. The new Harley CVO, that fairing, it has some similarities. If you look at it real quick, you'll think it's an Indian. But again, you got to really look at it. It's different, and it's unique. It's unique. There is a new infotainment center. This one is huge, no gauges, so it's going to be interesting to see. It had a pretty nice growl. I don't know if they did that just for sounds, just to intrigue people, but if it sounds that way, it's going to be nice. So, can't wait to see it. That comes out, I think it's June 7th. I think is the release of that one. So, can't wait to see that. You already have some overseas motorcycle manufacturers making replica Harley-Davidson bikes. Got a motorcycle here. You can check this out at topspeed.com. And it's the Keyway C1002V Cruiser, a serious threat to Harley-Davidson. And this thing looks like a Harley-Davidson Nightster. Okay? It even says here, it boasts more performance and premium underpinnings than the Harley-Davidson Nightster. Harley-Davidson has long been the manufacturer to beat in the cruiser lineup. It has fended off several rivals. For 2023, though, there's a new player in town. It's called Keyway, which introduced the MBP C 1002V Cruiser at the EICMA, whatever the hell that abbreviation means. And it's an Italian motorcycle that has all the makings of a capable cruiser and could very well draw sales away from the popular American Giant. This thing kind of similar, yeah, it does look like the Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Keyway has a lot going on in terms of design, the black-mounted mechanicals, long field tab, but I'm not going to get into specifics. You can check it out yourself. It's a 997 cc engine, and it's crazy because it looks like a Harley Davidson Nightster with a Indian engine. It's kind of crazy looking, but it's a V-twin. It definitely is. They do a side-by-side comparison with the Nightster, and it looks quite the same. So, so Harley's getting some competition in their own realm of motorcycles. I got to say that Buell Motorcycles, read an article the other day on they're coming back. And I actually got to see a Super Cruiser, a 2025 Buell Super Cruiser that they're building that was designed by Roland Sands. It looks awesome. It's an awesome looking bike built in the USA. They're calling it the fastest, coolest cruiser on the market. Buell is back with an all-new, high-performance Super Cruiser. Designed alongside the efforts of Roland Sands, the 450 pounds of super sport power emerges with easygoing ergonomics for an iconic throwback styling Sunday afternoon. Throwback styling. Whatever, I botched that shit up big time. Anyway, our muscle comes from Buell's unique 175 horsepower V-twin engine. Swing arms, forks, 17-inch wheels, and brakes, providing better ground clearance and ideal bar seat foot positioning. An evocative ride with exhilarating output, ready to be the hottest bike on the market, period. You can pre-order. It's the 2025 Buell Super Cruiser. You can check it out. BuellMotorcycle.com. This thing looks exactly like the, the Dyna. Looks like the Lowrider S. Exactly like it. Except the engine is slightly different. It's got almost like a, it's not a Harley, it's a V-twin, but it looks more like an Indian engine. And it's liquid cooled. I guess that's what's going on with these motorcycles now. Everything that's liquid cooled V-twin, they make it look like that Indian engine. Or like the Revolution Max, Revolution X engine. That's crazy. But this particular bike, 175 horsepower. And again, look at the horsepower they're making out of this engine. And it's a V-twin. It's unbelievable. That's the performance you're going to get by going liquid cooled. And imagine this engine on a bagger. Imagine Harley coming out with their engine. 1800 cc liquid cooled engine. I got to say will produce an upwards of just as much, 175, 185 horsepower. Easily. That's the kind of speeds and power you'll get. And again, I don't want the classicness of Harley Davidson to go away. Hell no. But, I mean, again, if it's going to make a better performing bike and we got to meet an emission standard, I'd take that over nothing at all. Why not? I'm still going to keep my air-cooled bike regardless. Shit, yeah. Hey, jumping off the motorcycles. I got to say, there's been a lot of cool things to watch on TV. And for the past 6 months that I've been off podcasting, I got to check out a lot of new series on TV, Netflix, etc. Paramount Plus. I got to say, Paramount Plus is handing out the park, especially with Taylor Sheridan and his shows. So the guy came out with another Yellowstone, 1923, a Yellowstone origin story. Loved it. Stars Harrison Ford. Don't remember his lady counterpart. Don't remember what her name was. But this is a dynamite show. It's another spinoff. You had Yellowstone. You had the 1898 spinoff story, and now you got a 1923 spinoff story. It's awesome, man. Really awesome. You got to check it out. I can't wait till it comes back for a second season. I can't wait till Yellowstone comes back to finish off season 5, the second half of season 5. During my break over the winter, I got to see Yellowstone season 5, the first half, which had a 2-hour premiere. Crazy the way it's ending up. And again, Taylor Sheridan is hitting it out of the park with this series lineup. I also got to see, starring Sylvester Stallone, another Taylor Sheridan series, combination, a new series by Taylor Sheridan and both Taylor Sheridan and Sylvester Stallone, starring Sylvester Stallone, called Tulsa King. Awesome series. I say it's so bad that Stallone waited to do this now. He should have did this when he was a bit younger. He's playing a mobster in today's world, and it is awesome. Mobster that gets out of prison in today's world, dealing with today's society with the same old school gangster mentality. And it's funny. It keeps you on your toes when you watch it, and I like it. It's a dynamite performance by Sylvester Stallone, even at his age now. He looks great. His face looks a little bit weird, man, I got to say, but the guy's 75 years old, 76 now, because he just had a birthday, and he's coming back from what they said, they signed a season 2 and season 3. God bless, man. I hope they film those back-to-back, because how much time does the man have? Not wishing him nothing bad, but the man is 76 years old. Awesome show. Check it out. It's Tulsa King on Paramount Plus. Also, I got to see the season premiere now that happened just this past Wednesday of Mayans MC. I got to say, my opinion of this show, when they first said they were coming out with a spin-off show after Sons of Anarchy about the Mayans, I was like, okay, cool. Let's check it out. Right? When Sons of Anarchy first came out, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And it was great. Look at what it was. I got to say, Mayans season 1 started off very slow. Suspect. Season 2 got better. Season 3, great. I won't say great, but it's good. Season 4, okay. They're moving. We're season 4 now. They're getting into it. Now season 5. Season 5 is now scaring me. Because it just started. I'm 1 episode in, 2 episodes, because they gave 2 episodes back to back of season 5. So 2 episodes in, got to give it a chance, got to see where it's going. But I'm like, okay, I'm not sold. You guys can really screw this up right now. So while Sons of Anarchy, that was not a screwed up series, you guys are going to take a spinoff show and screw it up. So it's not there yet. It's not bad, but they need to get on with it. They need to move a bit faster. If they're going to do like 8 episodes for this season, they need to move a bit faster and get on with it already. Yeah, that's my only thing with this show. And I don't remember the name of the show, but check it out on Netflix. It's starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is back. He's back with a new series. Again, I don't remember the name, but check it out. I kind of liked it. I got to give it a chance. I barely saw the first episode. It kind of put me to sleep, I got to say. Yeah, but we'll see what it's like. I remember. I wish I could remember the name of it. Anyway, it's Memorial Weekend. Get out, do some riding, buy some beer. I'm glad this week was over with. Very rough time in the work world for me. Gotta say. Getting tired of the politics, man, and I know it's like that everywhere you go, but yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I don't want to say too much in case anybody's listening. The eye is always in the sky. But definitely looking to relax a little bit this weekend. Probably going to pull all the bikes out tomorrow. I'd like to get a ride in this weekend, or a couple of rides in because it's an extended weekend. So I'm going to pull the bikes out, get to mow the lawn, of course, do the grass and all that. Get some house chores out the way and pull out the bikes and wash them down a bit. Still have yet to wash my bikes. I like to wash them down at the beginning of the season and polish them up real nice. And then I give them a quick little wipe down after every ride and keep them clean. Because, again, I don't go too crazy, man. Got to spend that time riding, not washing, you know. And but, yeah, I like my bikes looking pretty. And I'm hoping to get a nice ride in this weekend. It's Friday. Got plenty of time to think about it, but you know what pisses me off is that you blink and it's Sunday already. But I got off Monday too. I love it. But yeah, it's all going to go by too fast. So, hey, that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the show, downloading it, whatever you did. The show's available on all your favorite platforms. I even put it up on YouTube so you can listen to it. No video, just some audio. It's the Cycleshack Podcast. Check us out, the Cycleshack Podcast at gmail.com, and on Facebook at the Cycleshack Podcast. Feel free to go in, send me photographs of your rides. Anything you want to talk about, send it over. I'll talk about it, man. I appreciate you. Have a happy and safe Memorial Weekend with your families, but most of all, remember our heroes. That's the most important thing. Our soldiers, our men and women who gave their lives so that we can do what we're doing today and have the freedoms that we have. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you soon.